What do you think of when you think of Bleeding Kansas? Usually you think of the anti-slavery and pro-slavery fights inside of Kansas itself. One of the most important incidents in Bleeding Kansas was the sack of Lawrence, when some pro-slavery raiders came and destroyed the town. Once the war broke out, in 1863, another raid was made on that city by Confederates led by William Quantrill. Welcome to Have History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and today I want to give you a first-hand account about the raid on Lawrence, Kansas. On arriving here on the night of the 17th instant, I learned that a party of insurgents about 11 p.m. on the 16th had seized the watchmen stationed at the armory, arsenal, rifle factory, and bridge across the Potomac, and taken possession of these points. On the morning of the 20th of August, Quantrill gave the order to break camp and march in a southwesterly direction and went over on the Big Blue to a point south of Little Santa Fe, a town just on the Kansas line. His entire march until he reached the Kansas line was through smoking ruins and blackened fields. He halted in the woods all day, and just about dark he gave the order to mount and cross into Kansas at a point about 10 miles south of Little Santa Fe and turned directly west toward the town of Lawrence, and riding all night the town was reached just at daylight. At the entrance to the town there were a lot of tents in which were camped a detachment of black soldiers and a few white men. The command halted here and someone fired a shot. Immediately the black and white men rushed out of their tent, the majority of them starting in the direction of the river and some going in the direction of town. The command was given to break ranks, scatter, and follow them. A few of the blacks reached the river, plunging into it, but none succeeded in reaching the opposite shore. The troops then dashed back into the town, down the main street, shooting at every bluecoat that came in sight. Just before entering the town, Colonel Quantrill turned to his men and said, "Boys, this is the home of Jim Lane and Jennison. Remember that in hunting us, they gave us no quarter. Shoot every soldier you see, but in no way harm a woman or child." He dashed ahead of his command down Main Street, firing his pistol twice, dismounted from his horse and went into the hotel, where he was met by a landlord, whom he recognized as an old friend, and immediately gave orders for the landlord not to be molested and stayed in the hotel and guarded him. During all this time his command were busy hunting men with blue clothes and setting fire to the town. Jim Lane and Jennison were the ones wanted, and some of the boys dashed at once to Jim Lane's house, but unfortunately for the world did not find him. They found his saber, which was very handsome, the scabbard being heavily gold-plated. In the parlor of Lane's house there were 3 pianos, and the boys recognized 2 of them as having belonged to Southern people in Jackson County. And a great many other things belonging to the Southern people were found in his house. Quantrill remained in Lawrence about 2 hours, and when he left, the town was in ashes and 175 jayhawkers were dead. Lane and Jennison had made desolate the border counties of Missouri, pillaged and burned homes, murdered Southern men, insulted, outraged, and murdered the wives and sisters of these men. Quantrill and his command had come to Lawrence to be avenged, and they were. In this raid, a few innocent men may have been killed, but this was not intentional. This account was given by John McCorkle, one of the raiders who went along with Quantrill, so we can understand why it does have a more biased slant towards the raiders themselves as being more honorable than what some accounts give. I will give an account of one of the citizens of Lawrence, Kansas very soon, so you can get the other side of the story. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.